Senator from North Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I just wanted to get up and explain why I'll be voting against the passage of the Social Security Fairness Act a little bit later today. I'm going to try and keep the volume down and maybe the frustration down a little bit more today than I did yesterday, but I thought it was important to again explain why sometimes the tough vote is the right vote. To kind of lay the groundwork, is I am from North Carolina. I'm up for re-election in November of 2026. I've heard some people walk up and down the hallway and say that they really oppose the bill, but they're up for election in 28 or up for election in 30, and they're worried about the politics of it. I never worry about the politics when I'm convinced in my heart of hearts it's the right decision. And let me explain why. The Social Security Fairness Act is trying to address what I think is an inequity and a problem. Unfortunately, it's doing it in a way that is at the expense of $200 billion out of the Social Security Trust Fund without a dime offsetting it. Now, some of my fiscal conservative colleagues have said, well, no, it's not really depleting it, because it's the Social Security Trust Fund, so it's not adding to our debt. But what they are forgetting is that when Social Security Trust Fund becomes solvent, the fairies don't come back and replenish the Social Security Trust Fund. We don't have trust fund fairies. What we have is a debt that is already over $33 trillion that we're going to be expected to write another check out of. And we're headed towards a debt crisis. So this bill, by everyone's agreement, even those who are going to vote for it tonight, pulls forward an insolvency that is consensus right now going to occur 9 years from now, pulling it forward by 6 months. And so I have to vote against this bill, not because I don't ultimately want to fix an injustice for a very small percentage of people who deserve a few $100s more a month. But the way that we've gone about it, it's going to be costly, and it's being done at a time where we're not plussing the accounts back up. And so I feel like my vote casting a note, I'm likely to be on the losing side. I understand that. None of these amendments are going to pass because if they do, the bill fails. We know that. So anybody that's pulling for one amendment or another, let me just show you how I can tell the future. Not a single one will pass. This bill will be voted out this evening, and it will be sent to the president's desk. And once the president signs it, he will guarantee that the Social Security Trust Fund will become insolvent 6 months sooner than the 9 month, 8.5 months. Think about it this way, 8.5 years from now versus 9 years from now. It's going to pull $200 billion out, causing that to occur. It's actually going to provide some benefit that I don't believe the beneficiaries deserve. And it's really confusing that handful or that segment of the people who will get the benefit and casting them into a group that I think arguably maybe don't deserve the benefit. Anyone that should, we can take care of, but it's not $200 billion. But that's what happens when you don't have a single committee hearing on a bill. That's what happens when it comes from the House through something called a discharge petition. Bypassing all the processes comes to the Senate, and we never even have a hearing. We're going to have a vote later today for a $200 billion rating of the Social Security Trust Fund that is going to bring insolvency forward from 9 years to 8.5 years, and not a single vote or a single hearing has been held in a single committee on Capitol Hill. Now, folks, if you can't agree on the finances, if you can't agree on the fairness, can we all agree on the process? Something as weighty as this, we should have given it the justice it deserves and have a hearing on it. So for that reason, I'm going to vote against it. And then I'll be standing there reminding my colleagues I told you so when I'm also trying to help them fix the problem they're about to vote on to create. Thank you, Mr. President.